afternoon, everyone. Hope your day was going well. Today I'm going to be going over the possibility of severe weather the next 3 days. So for today, we do have a marginalized threat of severe weather in these four zones. I'll be covering those later, but your main risk of severe weather will be tomorrow, where we do have a enhanced risk, where you may have noticed it has been expanded more to the east in anticipation of this long-tracked MCS, or mesoscale convective system. However, though, you may also notice that the northern tier of this enhanced risk is now cut out. This was due to earlier concerns of cloud cover, which now have been dismissed by the model, so I would anticipate probably those areas getting back into enhanced risk, especially with now the miles yet again shifting it more to the north, even the NAM into her. So that really says a lot. But here's what we have right now. So basically, you have from the St. Cloud area to Milwaukee, up into Wausau, and down into Dubuque, you have that enhanced risk. And then slight risk here. That's another thing. They might expand this slight more to the east near the upper Michigan area. Now, with this will be due to, again, the MCS tracking longer than previously thought. So, now moving on to Sunday, we have this really broad area of marginalized severe threat. Now, an upgrade to slight it's not too possible, but it's there. The potential is there for over here if the storms do indeed get to be that strong. So now I'm going to show you the model. So first off, I'm going to show you what will happen today. Oh, 21 C signing up. But anyways, nope. For today, in most of these zones, with the exception of Utah and in the Northeast, these will be overnight threats. So as you can see, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 11 p.m. especially, you could see there's either supercell or even a very small bull echo develop across north central North Dakota. Midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and that dies. However, though, you see this new band of convection form right here. That's going to be your setting stage for the MCS tomorrow. But we'll get to that later. Then here. Do, 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 do. And yeah, it keeps him looking less and less impressive over here to now they don't even develop much of anything except for up here. But even then, those would die out by the time they reach the US. So yeah, Quebec, you could see some stronger storms today. But down here, with the exception of over here, I mean, apparently not so much. Utah. Today it will mainly be a risk of downburst winds in the strongest cells to 60 miles per hour. And then here, now, oops. Pretend you didn't see that. Okay. So as you can see here, starting around at 9 p.m. tonight, you can see some convection formed there. Something could be strong to marginally severe. Then 7 a.m., there's that band of supercells. So now let's move on to tomorrow's potential. Oh boy. This is going to be quite the veil. Anyways, now the 18Z herd, though, is not as accurate. Now, again, bringing it in as a tiny cluster, and none of the models really introduce that as being just a tiny minuscule cluster. Then now the accurate part, though, is having a bunch of cells forming after the main cell has passed through, and some of those could be strong to maybe a cell or two be marginally severe, but your main concern would be that initial cluster, but I'm going to show you the 12Z run for that reason. So as you can see, this one's also fast by about an hour. So as you can see here, by 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m. 4 p.m. is where you could really see it reach peak intensity. 5, 6, and then 6 p.m. entering, now passing Green Bay and entering the Algoma, Manitowoc, Fond du Lac, Sheboygan, and Madison areas. And then 4 p.m. entering Wausau, possibly Merrill, and then down into Stevens Point, and then to near the Boscobel area. Then that continues. But that's a hurt. Now, however, though, NWS Green Bay did say that at least at the time, the Great Start would be south of Highway 29. So for reference, that's like over here generally. It cuts straight through here. But now, new model runs for the AC&Z run suggest otherwise. 21Z. Okay, so far we get to 1 p.m. So yeah, the her shows it being way over here, whereas the others tend to agree that it would be just now entering the Twin Cities area by 1 p.m. But that's as far as it goes because it's still updating. So let's go to 15Z. So as you can see, by 4 p.m., then 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Now by 8 p.m., it shows a really well-defined bull echo cutting straight through into the Baraboo to Appleton, Green Bay, Marinette, Daggett, and then almost up into Marquette. Then that continues off. But yeah, by 4 p.m., entering Taylor in Adams counties, then Adams, not Adams. Then 6 p.m., past Wausau, now entering the Antico area, and then by 7 p.m., now hitting me, and then hitting into Green Bay. So that's what it says. So why is this happening? I'll show you that. So what we've got going on is that you're gonna have a surface low somewhere over here. Now with this, you're gonna see a cold front coming in through here generally, and then a warm front that continues lifting to the north. Now, the very, very exact place this warm front will go until the MCS arrive is still unknown, but it's generally agreed by the mouse that it should stop somewhere in central Wisconsin. Now, the MCS, wherever it does develop, will develop mainly along and north of wherever this boundary sets up. So, obviously, it will go a bit farther south, especially the supercells that will occur over here. But otherwise, your main wind damage threat is going to be a bit to the south, along, and especially north of wherever the warm front decides to stop at. So, as you can see, really, really significant amounts of cape before you see general thermal loss in heating by nightfall. So then you see it switch to mostly relying on most unstable cape. In terms of shear, a widespread 45 to 55 knots are expected. So that is more than enough. With 45 to 55 knots, that promotes storm organization. So like with MCSs. That also means that they will tend to live longer and they will move faster. And then you'll also see a greater damaging wind to tornado risk percentage, especially if the wind shear going orthogonally with the cold front. So could see some tornado potential too. High supercellular activity, even when it's in the MCS stage, you can see embedded supercells that could produce KLCS tornadoes, which are brief and weak tornadoes that form right along the front edge of the storm. But obviously, with wind damage and that combined, that can definitely cause quite decent amounts of damage. Now, highest torn, what the heck? Highest tornado potential, according to this, would occur mainly over here. Although some tornado potential exists up to here and then obviously down into here. So now what's going to be fueling this potential for large hailstones will be tons, tons of mid-level lapse rates, up to almost 9 Celsius per kilometer. So that will promote strong thunderstorm updrafts. So any storms that encounter those will very likely produce large to very large hail, especially into eastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, into Minnesota. Then the hail risk does continue into Wisconsin, but that'll be mainly core to half-dollar size hail. Now, with that being said, with widespread 60 to 70 plus mile per hour wind gusts, some perhaps enhanced to 90 in downbursts, plus that hail, it's not going to be really ideal to drive through. As a matter of fact, it won't be at all. Lots of low level lapse rates. Now, this feeds off of surface based heating. So, as a matter of fact, tomorrow's going to be in the widespread 80s and 90s over here. So, you're going to see strong heating. And the other thing is there's just so much moisture in the atmosphere. So, any storm that forms will produce extremely heavy rainfall. So, once you encounter the MCS, with the wind, hail, and rain all combined, you're going to see significant visibility loss. High amounts of helicity occurring with this as well, so that does increase the tornado potential a bit, and lots of EHI. Lots and lots of it. It's everywhere. It's plentiful. So now let's move back to Thundermouth. So, as a matter of fact, switching to 18Z. For the NAM, this one's much more realistic, going in line with most of the other miles because, again, that warm front boundary is expected to set up in central Wisconsin. Now, with that, that means that basically the worst will exist from the Twin Cities area up into almost Hayward in Wisconsin, and then down into Rochester and La Crosse, then eventually moving to Green Bay, Oshkosh, Appleton, Wausau, Merrill, Marinette, up into Iron Mountain possibly, and then down into almost Milwaukee. And then once continuing into Michigan, then Kalamazoo, Lansing almost, and then Bow Creek too. They'll get it. So if you're in those areas, this model does depict you guys getting slammed. Now the NAM nest I'm not relying on at all. It has been consistently way too fast. Not way too fast, but it keeps dropping it way too far to the south. It has been doing that. So I would take it for a word if all of the other miles were showing this, but literally all the others are keeping it up here. So I just can't really agree with it. So 1 p.m., 4 p.m. So the general consensus is that Twin Cities should be hit beginning by 1 p.m. Then possibly another wave, possibly another wave forming around 4 p.m. And then Green Bay and into Wausau can hit by 7 p.m. and then entering Lower Michigan by 10 p.m. RDPS. I've been really liking the RDPS. 1 p.m. It's a bit on the slow side, but other than that, it's been pretty consistent. It's been really consistent with storm evolution and where it goes. So I have more faith in this. So 2 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m. 6 p.m. it almost enters the Wausau area into Ashland and down to La Crosse. And then 7 p.m. 8 p.m. Yeah, this one's about an hour slower. So 7 p.m. it enters the Green Bay area and then up into Rhinelander, up into Mountain in Wisconsin, probably Crandon. At 8 p.m. it will have had just passed Marinette, Menominee, up into Daggett, down to Green Bay, possibly Manitowoc, and then Menasha and Appleton. Then it continues on into Canada by 7 a.m., where it dies. GDPS, I also have more faith in this model too. It has been very consistent, so I have more faith. So 1 p.m., 4 p.m., 7 p.m., 10 p.m. Now this one is slower. I mean, it's about 3 hours slower. So again, 7, 8 p.m. it arrives here. So yeah, see, it's very consistent with the other miles, with mainly Madison up into Vilas County, where it would be where the worst would occur. European. Hmm. Now European shows a more messy. But generally, the idea is that Madison up into Oneida County into Green Bay areas where the worst would occur. GFS now is more in line this 18C run too. That's another thing. So I'm really certain that we would see a northward expansion of that or shift of that enhanced risk. So 4 p.m., 7 p.m. This one's also on the slower end of things, but you can see it almost forms a bit of a coma head, which is what you get with the strongest squall lines. Now, what a coma head, here's what a coma head is. So you have the main line, bowing out, producing damaging straight line winds, and then occasional downburst gusts, which can produce localized spots of much heavier wind damage. But then you see this. It wraps around, so you have the wind still going straight, but then you could see in the strongest cells that rear inflow jet that comes in behind that cell. So, like with the Iowa derecho, now this won't be derecho, but anyways, a comparable comparison would be with the Iowa derecho, where even after the main storm left, it was still gusty. There was still gusty winds of up to 55 miles per hour that persisted. So that somewhat worsened the damage, but the main thing was that it made initial cleanup efforts harder. Now I don't quite know if it will get that strong, but it's not off the question that we see rear inflow jet MCV possibly form. But what this does in the meantime is that you also have a much higher possibility of rotation. As a matter of fact, June 15th this year, the Silver Cliff that happened in the EF2 that occurred at Silver Cliff and took that 2 mile long track up there was formed because of the coma head, and that also spawned three other EF1s, and they were generally in this area. So that's what we have on hand according to the GFS. No, yeah. Then it then shows it weakening as it enters lower Michigan. But again, remember, it's slower with this one too. Now let's look at the symbols. Okay. 18C needs progress. Okay, so yeah. As you can see, these ones are really slow, but we'll just take and look at the evolution. So yeah, see, most of them agree with extending from there, then there, then there. So yeah, most would agree to a one long tracked MCS than just a tiny cluster like the HRR depicts. and then weakening in Michigan. So, what are my thoughts on this? What are my thoughts on this, you may ask? Well, so for one, I know some of you guys may be thinking that there will be moderate. Now, at this point in time, I still do not think there will be moderate, but if a greater downburst threat is realized, then we would see that moderate risk. But what I think would most likely happen, so first off, let's just get this on and over with. So if there was to be a moderate risk, it would more than likely be over here somewhere. But anyways, now what you're gonna see is that this enhanced risk will most likely be issued. So again, for Madison, then up into there, then probably to a bit north of Green Bay towards Salina area, then ending off in um the Lake Michigan area, then expanding that slight risk. So over here, especially where there could be that tail of um let's see, supercells, then that slight risk. Now obviously it will be more northerly, but this box is in the way, so just bear with it. It then extends to there. That would be my guess. That's just my general guess. So that's gonna conclude the video for today. Now I will release a update in the very early morning hours tomorrow, and I will be live. I will probably be live beginning around 12 p.m. As a matter of fact, considering what the miles show. I mean, once the storm center here and start really materializing, then I'm gonna be live. So, stay safe, prepare now. Take this time right now to prepare. If you're especially in west central and southern um, Minnesota into northern and central and southern Wisconsin, and then lower Michigan and then Iowa and eastern Nebraska, you need to prepare now. So 154 out.